Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education so that you can unleash your true potential. And that's what we're talking about here today. We're in day 4 of our 5-day series on how to win friends and influence people by Dale Carnegie. Now, on day 4 here, we're going to be covering at a real high level this fourth part of the book on how to become a leader. And, what we've been doing is a high-level review of all the amazing principles and strategies that are available in this book. It's an all-time bestseller. Been around. It's timeless. Literally one of the all-time bestsellers. So as a reminder, there's 4 parts of this book: techniques on handling people, ways to make people like you, winning people over to your way of thinking, true persuasion, and then becoming a leader. And that's the part I wish we had tons and tons of time on. But my goal with this podcast and this episode is really just to give you the high-level bullet points, and so that you can apply them to your particular situation, your life, your relationships, your business, and find ways that you can implement them. Because the strategies are proven. The techniques are sound. They've been proven over time, and they're things that can help you to take your life, your business, and your opportunities to the next level. So let's talk about this part 4, and it's titled "Be a Leader: How to Change People Without Giving Offense or Arousing Resentment." And, I think that it's really important to understand here the difference between being a leader and a manager. And a leader truly does help persuade people to become more productive. And also a leader is, designed to be there to help bring out the best in the people around them. It's not about telling people what to do. It's not about getting what you want done. It's about bringing out the best in individuals, and then they can perform to their best of their abilities. And it's about having that patience and self-control and character and discipline. So let's go through these 9 points that Dale Carnegie gives on being a leader. The first one is to begin with praise and honest appreciation. I can tell you right now that I have found by far, out of money, rewards, all kinds of things, recognition is one of the best motivators for performance, activity, and fulfillment of individuals that you're working with. So number 1's a great one. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. It's not flattery, it's appreciation for what they do, how they do it, being grateful for the effort. Number 2 is to call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. One of the worst mistakes you can have as a leader is to point out fault, point somebody out as doing something wrong, especially in public. I think it always helps for someone to build a culture where individuals will become aware of their own mistakes, and you don't necessarily have to point them out. And if you can build a culture like that by doing it indirectly, by leading people to identify and recognize what they've done, then that'll be far more productive. Number 3, talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person's. I think it's very important for us to understand, and Dale Carnegie does a great job with some of his illustrations in the book, that mistakes are learning curves. Mistakes are the investment you make in individuals that you're working with, around, or leading in order to help them grow. And so pointing out or criticizing their mistakes without sort of humanizing the situation and talking about your own mistakes before criticizing theirs helps them to realize that they can grow past it and they can get past it. So that's number 3. Number 4, ask questions instead of giving direct orders. This goes back to the 3rd section we talked about. Persuasion is a far more effective method long-term than, telling somebody or selling somebody or manipulating someone to do what you want. Giving them direct orders is not the key. As Dale Carnegie talks about, asking questions and leading people to come to their own conclusions and get what you want is far more productive. Number 5, let the other person save face. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. The bottom line is you cause more issues than you would by, making a point than you would by letting them save face, especially if mistakes are made. You want to use that as a growth experience. Number 6 is to praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Now, one of the things I've learned over time, especially in leadership positions, is that you can get a lot of traction and you can build up a lot of loyalty and you can build up a lot of long-term dedication if you can start to recognize improvement in people, because people want to grow, people want to develop. And because we're our own worst critic, right? So it's hard for us to kind of identify things in ourselves that we're accomplishing or that we're making good progress with. So pointing out those improvements, every single improvement can create lots and lots of loyalty and production with people that you're working with. Number 7, give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. This kind of dovetails a little bit from the last one, but as a leader, your goal is to see the best possible outcome that anyone can have. As a CEO and a mentor and a guide for other individuals, I've found that the more that I can give them this vision of what I believe they could become and help them to understand and buy into that, the more they're going to want to be that, the more they're going to want to live up to that reputation. And so number 7 is a great one. Number 8, use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. So look, when you find something is done wrong or inadequate or not up to par, when you point things out like that, the best thing you can do is help individuals to see the other perspective of the solution. And we talk about finding win-wins, creating a focus of solutions. And when you do that through encouragement, what people are going to do is they're going to start to have that culture of knowing that mistakes will come and grow. But when you visualize mistakes or failure as failure rather than learning, then you try to avoid them. When you visualize and understand that your mistakes are learning and growth, then you'll want to go fail 5 times faster. That's the key. So use encouragement and make the fault seem easy to correct. And number 9, the final one in being a leader, is make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. The best way to do that is to make sure that you align people with their unique talents and their unique abilities and that they feel that they're committed and have some value in what they're doing. So make the other person happy about what they're doing and what you suggest. And those are the 9 points for being a leader, how to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. And I want to do just a real quick recap. And then tomorrow, I'm going to dig into just a couple of key thoughts on character, on criticism, on secrets of success and influence out of the book that I took in general. But just as a quick review, we talked a little bit about the techniques for handling people. We talked 3 of those techniques. We talked about 6 ways to help people to like you. And we talked about the way to win people over to your way of thinking. There's 12 ways with that. And then today, 9 ways on how to be a leader. I want to really highly encourage you to go pick up a copy of How to Win Friends and Influence People, because we're going to summarize a few things tomorrow, and I want to apply it to some business principles and things that I've learned. But I find that when you can go through the stories and the illustrations and things that Dale Carnegie offers, what you're going to find is that you'll be able to relate to certain situations. You'll find little areas in your life that you know that you can apply in a better way. And the goal here is for us to grow, right? If you want to create the life you are meant to live, if you want to create the best version of yourself, you constantly need to look for ways to grow. And these points, these strategies, these principles are all amazing ways to do that. I know that you have a lot of potential inside you. We all do. No matter where you're at, you can 10 times where you are. And I believe you can do that. The more you learn, the more you earn, the more you grow, the happier and more fulfilled you'll be. So that's my message for today. I appreciate you checking in with me. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with, and you've been hanging out with me today, and I'm glad that you were spending some time. I look forward to some comments and even some feedback from you. If there's some things you'd like to have on this podcast, let me know. And download the Daily Mastermind mobile app. I think it's something that'll help you greatly. It's all free resources for entrepreneurs and investors. And so I hope that will make a big difference for you in your life. I look forward to talking with you tomorrow. We're going to talk about a little bit of high level of this book, also a couple of lifestyle things I've got for you. And so have an amazing day. I'll talk with you soon. This is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind.